The quiet power of us. Freen and Becky's unbreakable link. When comfort becomes home. There's a moment in every deep connection where comfort stops being a feeling and becomes a place. For Freen and Becky, that place is each other. You see it in how Becky unconsciously turns toward Freen in crowded rooms. In how Freen subtly positions herself so Becky never feels alone in unfamiliar spaces. Neither of them draws attention to it, because for them it's not an action. It's instinct. Comfort doesn't need permission. Just happens. And when comfort becomes home, distance loses its power. The way they move as one without trying. One of the most telling things about Freen and Becky is how naturally they synchronize. Not in rehearsed choreography, but in real life. They walk at the same pace. They pause at the same moments. They adjust to each other without discussion. If Becky slows down, Freen slows down. If Freen hesitates, Becky waits. This isn't coincidence. It's attunement, the result of paying attention over time. That kind of harmony doesn't come from spending time together. Comes from choosing to notice each other. Respect that never wavers. True respect is quiet. It doesn't interrupt. It doesn't compete. Freen never speaks over Becky. Becky never diminishes Freen. When one shines, the other steps back without resentment. When one struggles, the other steps forward without obligation. This balance is rare, especially under public scrutiny, and it's one of the reasons their bond feels so grounded. They don't need to outshine each other. They don't need to prove anything. They let each other be fully themselves. The moments no camera could capture. Fans often talk about off-camera chemistry, but what they're really sensing is continuity. The way Freen and Becky interact doesn't change when the spotlight turns off. No exaggerated distance. No sudden formality. No shift in energy. They remain the same, soft, attentive, present. And that consistency tells its own story. Because acting can be turned on. But authenticity doesn't switch off. When silence is the safest place. There are silences that feel awkward and silences that feel safe. Between Freen and Becky, silence is never empty. They sit together without needing conversation. They share space without filling it. They allow quiet moments to exist without rushing past them. In a world that constantly demands output, reaction, explanation, that kind of silence is revolutionary. It says, you don't need to perform here. How they protect each other without making it obvious. Protection doesn't always look like standing in front. Sometimes it looks like standing beside. Freen shields Becky from pressure by absorbing attention. Becky shields Freen by grounding her when expectations rise. They redirect uncomfortable questions. They subtly change the subject. They use humor, timing, and presence as shields. No confrontation. No drama. Just quiet defense. And the most powerful kind of protection is the one that never needs to be acknowledged. Why time only makes them stronger. Some connections fade under time. Others deepen. With Freen and Becky, time doesn't dilute the bond. It clarifies it. They grow more confident together. More settled. More certain in how they rely on each other. What once looked like chemistry now looks like understanding. What once felt exciting now feels steady. And steadiness is the rarest form of intimacy. The unbreakable part no one talks about. What truly makes their bond unbreakable isn't affection. It's choice. The choice to remain kind. The choice to remain respectful. The choice to remain emotionally present, even when it would be easier not to. They don't cling. They don't possess. They don't define each other. They allow each other to grow, side by side, not tangled. That's why nothing seems to shake them. What does really means here? Us doesn't mean ownership. Doesn't mean dependency. Means alignment. Two people moving forward with shared understanding. Two lives intersecting without losing themselves. Two hearts choosing the same direction. Quietly, consistently. That is the quiet power of us. Ending. A connection that doesn't need an ending. Some stories don't need conclusions. They don't resolve. They don't peak. They don't fade. They continue. Freen and Becky's link isn't a moment. It's a rhythm. Not a headline, a constant. Not a spectacle, a presence. And long after the noise settles, after trends pass and narratives shift, what remains is this: connection built on respect, sustained by trust, strengthened by silence. Unbreakable, not because it's loud, but because it's real.